Hey, OGL 350. Welcome to a surprise video. This will be quick, I think. Um, so what's it, Wednesday morning here? Um, I want to talk to you about a couple links I have, but first of all, the main reason for this video is more or less an apology. It is an apology, but it's a clarification. There's a recent assignment on interviewing someone from a culture or ethnicity significantly different than your own. Um, I've taught this class three times, and I've read all the papers, and yet in this course I had questions on oh more than a few that did not seem to reflect the cultural, ethnic, significant difference that I had envisioned as the status quo previously. Um, it's been brought to my attention that and it triggered me into thinking. Um, and so I rescored the papers that I felt did not fulfill that obligation uh, because there's a lot of nuance. I mean, first of all, it's not easy to ask somebody to go find somebody outside your cultural ethnicity significantly different because that's just the reality how we live our lives, right? Secondly, we all adapt to American culture. We all have to adapt to this lifestyle here. Again, I don't like to use the word assimilate. That makes it sound like we're all the same. I believe we adapt, and then what goes on outside of our interaction life, whether that's at work or what have you. And I could say behind closed doors or behind the walls of our or wherever in our own spaces, we can definitely, and we do definitely, adhere to certain, whether it's traditions, culture, uh, ethnic traditions, whether it's religion, anything that might be different, significantly even. Um, so uh, I realized, and it's not the first realization because I've always tried to endeavor to do this, teaching a course on diversity and being like as an African studies major. It's how I got the nickname Mufasa because I was in African studies classes with a bunch of young guys and gals and everything, and they playfully called me Mufasa, and the old white lion, I guess, and I kind of stuck with that. But anyways, um, the last thing I want to be is the old, straight cis boomer white guy mansplaining. Okay, and I'm sure most all what that means. Uh, and I endeavor not to be that person. And when I find that I'm deciding, you know, that um, this person and this person are not diverse diverse enough, it should it just makes me want to blow up the whole assignment and question a lot of things on my own turf, right? Who am I to disagree with what you have felt is interviewing someone who is different than you significantly? All right. So I apologize for that. That's not a place for me to go. Okay. It's an assignment that I think has value. I think you found it to have value. And, but I think that I need to, well, I don't think I have to change it. I think I have to change me. Okay. And at least, it's not like this 90 180 or something. Like I said, I think I think I'm an ally for whatever that's worth. But I feel really bad when I realized I was white guy baby boomer mansplaining, straight white guy baby boomer mansplaining. It's not my place. Okay, so I really apologize for stepping out of line, and I hope you will. I hope you will forgive me for that and understand that, like they call these things, teachable moments, right? Um, so, okay, I want to talk about this link I was sent uh, by a friend up in Canada it was a reminder because I'd seen it like 3 or 4 times before, and I'm just going to include it. It's by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I don't know if anybody know her. She's a fabulous writer from Nigeria. Read her books before I went to college, and for me, that's like in my 40s, right, early 50s. But Purple Hibiscus, Half of the Yellow Sun. She's been known for so many, and she's just a phenomenal writer. And she has a TED Talk, and it kind of touches on some of the things that we were talking about through email and my video and that about identity and about color blindness. And even though colorblind is not mentioned, I think we can, connect the dots on some of these things. We talk about identity and erasing identity, acknowledging identity, allowing for a individualized identity. Absolutely, and I think it's really important. That's a great video to watch. I'm also going to include the video not the video, a link to the New York Times article that just came out today that they're questioning, they didn't questioning that they actually absolved um, the killers, the guys who got convicted of killing Malcolm X in 1965. They were found guilty. It's an interesting because it was a failure by FBI and New York Police Department on this. And, when I look at these things, even though in the 60s, and many of you weren't born yet, they impacted people in many ways from all sides. Um, Malcolm X, as many of you know, was a provocative character, to say the least. They tried to play him off of, MLK as he's like violence and MLK is like peaceful and everything. And not many know that, Malcolm X, he joined the Nation of Islam, made it very popular, but then, he broke from that and he did he what do they say, performed a Hajj, which is, one of the pillars of Islam, and he went to Mecca to take part in that. And he just had this epiphany. Wow, his eyes just lit up because he was always claiming, oh, you always called white man's a blue-eyed devil and this and that. But I mean, understand that. I mean, the guy had, his house when he was a kid, his house, the Ku Klux Klan were burning down his house. They killed his father. They, I mean, you have to recognize people's experiences and how they've been influenced, right? So, anyways, he had this epiphany, and he dismissed all the violence and the hatred and the separation that he advocated then, as he got to know people from all creeds, races, colors, everything, and he really bonded with that. Unfortunately, it was less than a year later when he was assassinated. Less than a year later. I don't think they still know who did it. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. It came up just right before I did the video. I said, I've got to touch on that. Also, finally, I'm going to include, because we're talking about people's experiences, I'm going to include a video I made, okay? And it was my capstone project for my master's degree in interdisciplinary studies, and it's an oral history. Oral histories are of great value, and they're very valid. They allow people to share how they experienced history that they lived, okay, a lived history. As you get older, and you older students know that, you've had this journey, you've had these experiences that have informed you, that have put you in a particular frame of mind, an ideology, a philosophy, and it's worked for you, or you've changed it, whatever. My friend, what I call my big brother, Hal Brown, I did a video on him because he's an incredible character. I met him when we both sold our artwork at different venues and things, and he lived in the neighborhood. I used to go over to his house on Friday nights, sit outside his backyard and drink shots and smoke cigars, and he'd smoke something else. And we had a great old time, and he told me stories. He's about 11 years older than me. He moved to Hawaii a couple years ago. I miss him terribly. He just sent me a update and a picture of himself, and he said, yeah, he's 74 and he's still getting it done. There's my buddy Hal right there. Okay. He's former Hell's Angels, if you could be that way. He's got a bunch of Harleys and things, but he's an artist, and he has a unique oral history. And it's 33 minutes. I'm going to send this to you because I just want to emphasize how everybody is different. You can't just assume anything, right? So I'll get off what's not intended to be a high horse at all again, okay? My line from being instructor at a university to to the far opposite end of the white mansplaining. I never want to go over there. I'm leaving it over there. Okay. The only people I get to mansplain to are my sons. I think you'll allow me that. 'Cause, but anyways, let's do this. I wasn't planning on this going 10 minutes, and I wasn't planning on points, but I'll tell you what, if you can just email me an Easter egg that says, I'll tell you what, here's a new one. You send me an Easter egg and you make it up. You tell me what the Easter egg is. You send it to me. I'm going to add 5 points onto your last video. Okay? All right. Again, thanks for the time. Contact me if you have any questions. Forks up. Peace.